We got a nice little countdown again. We really got to get a
Yeah,
theme song or something.
a theme song would be cool. I really like
Yeah,
the countdown, but
yeah.
maybe I don't know, a Batman style theme song or something.
Sweet.
That would
Welcome
be fun.
to episode number 2 of the Neurodivergent Normal Podcast. I am Photon John here with my co-host Danny WX.
Hi.
Um, and we are continuing our theme for the moment of neurodivergence in music
Yep.
with our good friend Adam Dawe. He's someone I've known for many, many years. There's photos of us piggybacking each other around various stages in Brisbane, playing shows together, and I'm excited to have a chat with him. But I guess I just wanted to check in, Danny. How's things going with you?
Yeah, things are going pretty well actually. I enjoyed some of the reactions and responses we got to the first episode a couple of weeks ago. I feel a little bit more relaxed this time around. I think I'm gonna ease into it a bit more. I actually was up early this morning. I did a boxing class. I've been doing boxing for a few years now, and I'm not Conor McGregor or anything. But growing up, I always shunned anything physical. In high school, I didn't play any sports. I hated phys ed and everything because having undiagnosed autism, my coordination was so bad that, I was,
And the social aspect as well, I guess.
yeah, definitely. Being the last picked for teams. That old cliche,
Yeah, yeah.
that old chestnut. I've been getting into boxing over the last few years, and I'm no UFC pro, as I've said. It's been great for my confidence and feelings of inner calm. And I also wanted to mention today's International Transgender Day of Visibility. So
Yes.
shout out to all my trans friends who frequently happen to be neurodivergent as well.
Yes. I've had the pleasure of having many trans people in my life, and cheers to freedom to live your life free.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Yeah, I'm in week 6 this week of my TMS therapy, the transcranial magnetic stimulation. For anyone who didn't hear about that last episode, we're gonna probably look to have the owner of the clinic and a couple of the employees on. They're very, very interesting people. But it is a very odd experience for me having, this is my experience. It's not everyone's experience, but for me personally, pretty next to zero depression or anxiety, no brain fog. My task paralysis has gone away. I can just do the thing that needs doing.
Yeah.
And it's been, I've never been like that ever. So it's been very, very interesting, and we will get a little more into that. But it's starting to settle in now. I feel like this is my new normal. My brain is calm, which is bloody fantastic. Having a very good time with it.
Yeah, definitely. So it's not something I know much about, but it sounds like it's made a huge difference in terms of life and productivity and everything, really, how much you can get done.
Yeah, and an increasing amount of people I know have done it. 3 friends in particular, close friends, had done it, and they were really pushing me to do it. And I see why now. Honestly, it's been really transformative. But this episode is not about that. So, as I said, Adam Dawe, I've been with him in a band called Novus Wild back in the day. I first found him in a band he used to be in called Lunar Seasons, and I just remember vocally he blew me away so much. And we connected for reasons that we didn't understand at the time. We just did, but I guess now that we both know we're neurodivergent, it's that whole running in packs thing we were speaking about last episode.
Yeah.
And we've been friends for many years. But before we get into that, I'm going to play a song of his called Bridges from his band The Mess We're In, which in my opinion is the best band he has been in to date. Especially live, if you get a chance to catch these guys around Brisbane. They are stunning, really, really good. But we will get into that, and then we will bring him in.
Cool.
Take the ride. You know in death I thrive. The first to arrive in the storm.
Cool.
Very cool.
We're gonna have to figure out the ins and outs of this whole sharing and bring a guest in thing. But
Yep.
I think Adam is coming in now.
Yeah, it's a learning, it's a journey. Yeah.
Well, at least I remembered to full screen this time and not show off like my YouTube algorithm feed.
Yeah. Cool song.
Yeah, man. Yeah, these guys are epic. I was it was long gestating too. I think it was I think Adam can correct me, but I think it was a couple of years before everything really sort of started getting to a live point of view.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was having a listen to the mess we're in this afternoon, and I really like Red. That's a great track. Really enjoyed that one.
Alrighty, and have we got him?
Hey,
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 Adam.
hey, how's it going? Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there, but I'm here.
yeah, the perils of live streaming.
Yeah,
It's it. We do it for the trade off of having ADHD and like not having to edit or anything like that.
Yeah,
yep.
How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
very good.
Very good. So I guess we'll kind of jump straight into it. Just for our guests, obviously we know you quite well. What would be your flavor of neurospicy, neurodivergence?
So I'm a diagnosed ADHD person, which what flavor would that be? That'd be like
ADHD.
some
flavor.
kind of chili ice cream flavor, maybe. Some kind of all over the place sensory nightmare.
Yeah.
With a,
Chilling.
with a major in the inattentive side, and I'm told a minor in the hyperactive, but they think I might actually be about 50-50, and I tend to internalize the hyperactive a lot more.
Yeah.
I wasn't confirmed, but there's a high suspicion I was somewhere on the mid to lower rung of the ASD spectrum as well, but that's yet to be explored and properly diagnosed. But for now, officially ADHD.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, we were talking about this last episode. Some people have the internalized where it's outwardly you don't think that you might not think that you're ADHD, and other people might not think, but it's all going on up here, all the hyperactivity.
Yeah, I was quite um, I was quite shocked when it was suggested to me initially, and then because I kind of just had the cliched, ADHD, someone who's bouncing off the walls all the time.
Yeah.
And then I read about it and read about the inattentive side, and that was just me down to a T. And I tend to internalize, like, I've always been like quite restless. Like I find it very hard to sit still. I was doing training for my work the other day, and I felt like my skeleton just wanted to jump out of my body sitting there, like trying to focus on paying attention. And
Yeah.
yeah, I tend to internalize a lot of the hyperactivity, I think.
Did you have a similar sort of journey that I had with autism, where when people mentioned it to you at first, you were like, well, how's that going to help me now? And then when you looked into it a bit more, you were like, actually, this might be actually useful to look into.
Yeah, I did. I was kind of, because I kind of came to it late in life, like in my early 40s. And I was kind of like, I kind of know who I am. I know I'm a bit odd. I know I'm not what you'd call normal. So I get my quotes in there. Normal.
Yeah.
Normal.
Same.
So but I kind of accepted that. But then I've got small children, so I kind of thought it'd be cool to get it, just to maybe help them down the line if they kind of start struggling with, studying, life, blah, blah, blah. It might be just cool to say, hey, dad's confirmed this. So that might help them potentially on their journey. But I did find definitely when it was confirmed that, yeah, just a lot of like confirmation of behaviors I had where I just thought I'm just a bit of an oddball. And I kind of found like I forgave myself for a lot of past behavior too, where I've sort of felt guilty a lot about, ways I'd acted, and not, it wasn't like an excuse for any kind of past behavior, but it was more like, oh, okay, I can kind of understand a bit better now and forgive myself a bit more for, ways I might have acted in the past, I guess.
That sounds very relatable. Rather than just, I'm bad and I don't know why, it's like, suddenly I have a reason.
They definitely call it a bit of a grieving process too. You do have sort of a bit of a time where you can sort of look back and think, oh man, what could life have been like if I'd been intervened, earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But you kind of get over that and you go, okay, well, at least my life makes sense now, and I have a better way forward.
Yeah. I've definitely had a lot of that. It's like now I can finally be the person that potentially I could have been in my 20s if I wasn't struggling with the shame over something that I didn't even know what it was shame about.
Yeah.
So,
okay, well, let's get into it. We're talking about neurodivergence in music. Were you an early bloomer, like most neurodivergent musicians seem to be?
Not in the music world, no. So I've always had like pretty strong emotional reactions to music from a pretty young age, but I wouldn't say I was a music fan up until probably my teenage years. I was very into like reading and literature from a young age, and I could actually read from like quite a young age. So I was quite advanced at that, and that was kind of my creative world, I guess. And then I sort of discovered
that explains
music.
your lyrical prowess.
Yeah, it kind of explains a lot of my influences too. A lot of my influence tend to be on the more like songwriters are on the more literary side, like your Nick Caves, your Leonard Cohens, that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, that was sort of what I was into initially, and then I started struggling with reading somewhere around the age of like sort of 11, 12. It just started to become a lot harder for me, where I'd find myself like losing attention very easily, and I'd like read 4 or 5 pages and then just have no idea what I just read. And it was funnily enough around that time I started getting into music. It was almost like I jumped from one creative outlet to another in some strange way.
Were those artists you mentioned, Nick Cave, Leonard Cohen, were they kind of the first artists you got into when you became a dedicated music fan or a passionate music fan?
Yeah, I'd say Nick Cave definitely from a pretty young age, like probably mid-teenage years. Leonard Cohen was a little bit later. I had a friend who was quite a good mentor for me musically, who introduced me to Leonard Cohen.
That first Leonard Cohen moment, I think. Well, I don't know if you had the same that I did, but I have heard of him, appreciated him, heard the famous songs. But when you hear him at first, it's not always like an immediate thing, and then you hear the song, whatever song that is. But the one that
Yeah.
makes you go, "Oh, okay, I get this guy
Yeah,
totally," and then you
Yeah.
become fanatical.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Like I knew, yeah, Hallelujah, probably a couple of other of his sort of more famous songs, but yeah, it was the song Avalanche that got played for me at a like insanely loud volume, and it's just him singing with an acoustic guitar and some mild strings in the background, and it goes for about 6 minutes, and it's just wow, it just like floored me when I heard it, and I was just like, who is this? And get it into my veins, like
Well, a little story about my first time hearing Nick Cave. I was 12 years old, and lived in a big house with my mum and my brother, and she had a housemate, and he was a nurse, and he would get home at all hours of the night, and just loved to drink a bottle of wine and crank Nick Cave.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember just waking up in my bed one night. It was "Do You Love Me?" So it was those opening bells.
That would
and
be.
it, and it just sounded like hell's bells to me. And then he starts singing. I never heard Nick Cave before, and I'm 12 years old. I was like,
Wow.
"Well, who's the scary man making like, turn it off?"
That'd be a head trip, actually. You're trying to sleep and you wake up to bells and "Do you love me? Do you love me?"
But I was intrigued, and I went and checked
Yeah,
him out not long
I would
after
be
that,
too.
and then been a fan for a very long time ever since.
Yeah.
my it's funny, my dad did something similar actually to me with the song Black Sabbath by obviously the band Black Sabbath. I think I was about maybe 7 or 8, and he was just playing music downstairs in his sort of den area one afternoon, and for whatever reason that song came on, and you know how it kind of starts with the rain and the thunderstorm and then the bells, and then before that big kind of riff comes in, and he just like
Yeah,
for some reason he just decided he was just going to crank it maximum volume as I walked in the room, and it just like hit me like a punch in the face, like this dong
yeah.
dong dong, and yeah, I think
I-
it both frightened and interested me at the same time.
so I think, okay, so what I'm getting here is ADHD kids love music that scares the shit out of them
Yeah,
and is unique. Wow. So, sorry, Danny.
Oh, you go.
I was just going to ask the next question. So, like,
Oh,
I guess in hindsight, I think this was Danny's question too. Like, when you look back now, and I know the diagnosis was relatively recent, but what role do you think neurodivergence might have played in that early interest? Like, we kind of got onto the whole scary music thing, but do you think tuning it into it in the way that you did would have happened at any age, or is that particularly why at that age, being a teenager, and the turmoil that can come along with being that age anyway, plus having additional struggles might have played a part in it?
yeah, I think like back to like the kind of the reading side. I think that was always like kind of an outlet, was for like, especially as a young kid, I found it quite hard dealing with emotions. And I think the reading side was a way of like kind of healthily expressing or just going through emotions in like a kind of safe or fictional world. And I think probably finding heavy music as an angsty teenager was something similar for me. I don't know if that's an exclusively neurodivergent thing or that's just everyone, but that's probably sort of my side of it, I guess.
when did you, I guess, get into singing and playing music yourself? Like, when did you go from being a music fan to like first trying to sing or picking up an instrument?
So they both kind of ran around the same time. I sort of started getting interested in playing guitar when I was about 15.
Yeah.
And then it took me about 5 years before I got any good at it. And I think I'd always wanted to sing on some kind of level. And again, I just started, before I could even barely play the guitar, I started writing, like coming up with pretty lame song ideas, which I'm thankful there was no internet around back then to record any of them.
Oh yeah.
And then I just kind of sang along just by default, really. So yeah, probably around the age 15, 16, something like that. But it took me a while to get anywhere halfway resembling decent at it.
Okay. And like, how do you feel now? Do you, because I guess for me it was a retrospective thing, and I think Danny as well, where I can see looking back, like with the rest of my life, but I can see looking back now why I gravitated towards the kind of music that I did, why I wrote the kind of music that I did, why I sing the way that I sing, why I write the kind of riffs that I write. Like, do you feel like that is part of what makes you you as a musician?
Yeah, I think there's definitely got to be something there. I mean, like we all kind of write from our own unique worldview and the way we see and interpret the world in front of us. So, I'm interpreting in the world in front of me with a certain type of brain and a certain type of lens. So I think there's definitely got to be something there. I'm not 100% sure what or how, but I mean it's got to be for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's funny because I've spoken to so many different neurodivergent musicians, but some of them are like, "No, it doesn't affect me at all," and others are like, "Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like it's pervasive, all pervasive in my brain, so it's got to be a good
Yeah,
thing."
I think I'm probably a fence sitter in that in that realm where it's like, yeah, I think it probably could, but I just don't know how. Like, I just yeah, like I'm pretty new to the officially being neurodivergent part, so I haven't. It's not something I've explored in great detail, but
Yeah.
down the track.
It yeah, it does sound quite relatable because I had a similar thing with I mean similar but different. Like I got into music from a pretty young age, and I was kind of recording. I was doing my own very amateurish recordings as a kid, and looking back, the at the time undiagnosed autism must have played a part because basically all the people who like my solo music are neurodivergent. But I think with my own style, one of the formative things was listening to Tism when I was about
Oh yeah.
when I was about 11 or 12 and going, okay, I haven't heard anything like this before, and I want to I want to make music that sounds like this. So,
Well,
uh,
I wondered a bit later too. Now, and I'm just like, oh, I know this is serious, Mum, but is
yeah.
it? Or should there be an apostrophe at the beginning?
Yeah, well now I can say I make music inspired by Tism, and it's true on two levels. So I was born at the right time. I think I was born at just the right time to be able to make that claim to fame.
Yeah, very true. I mean, I don't
So
know if I think of what an autistic band might look like, you know, Tism, probably top of the list.
yeah, yeah, probably yeah. Yeah. So Adam, I've seen you live numerous times actually, and like I was wondering about just a brief history of the bands you've been in. In Brisbane, obviously, there's the mess we're in, Daylight Ghosts, Lunar Seasons, and Novus Wild. Am I missing any of the significant ones?
Those are the main ones. The first proper band I was in was a band called the Black Walls. That was kind of around MySpace era. Not much of
Oh
those
yeah,
recordings exist really anymore, but that was kind of the precursor to Lunar Seasons in a way.
yeah,
I mean that band split up because of the drummer in the band's health problems, and
yeah.
then kind of a couple of us kind of went into Lunar Seasons after that, and that was basically like I was kind of just not ready to call it a day yet, and just had written a whole bunch of songs and kind of wanted to keep playing them pretty much.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Lunar Seasons was kind of like pretty much me guiding the songwriting more or less. And then Novus Wild kind of was one that sprang out a few years into Lunar Seasons with our friend Photon here, who kind of had a
Yeah.
bunch of songs that weren't really working for his band at the
Yeah.
time, and I was kind of interested in the idea of giving collaboration with someone else a go rather than just being greedy and doing everything myself all the time.
Got that.
And yeah, that was quite a fun band. And then Daylight Ghosts is a bit of a weird entity. That's a sort of, it's two of us, and it's at its core a vocal and an acoustic guitar. And then there's just a whole bunch of weird instrumentation that kind of goes in and out depending on the song. And that was again just kind of another person who I kind of loosely knew in the music world who was kind of looking to do something a bit different outside of their normal genre.
Yeah.
And then the mess we're in, that was me and my friend Jack formed that in the middle of a lockdown a couple of years back, pretty much just bored sitting at home. And I kind of almost kind of, I thought outgrown that heavier style of music, or just kind of decided it didn't really interest me anymore. And then we were just bored during lockdowns. We were living not far from each other, and so we just decided to jam a little bit and come up with some ideas. And then yeah, suddenly I found I was still very interested in that genre of music, and here we are.
I have to say, between myself and our good friend Hardiman, who is the other Adam, anyone who knows us out there will know Adam. He's famous. We were very happy to see you doing that kind of music again. It was our favorite kind of performance to see from you. But I have to say, Daylight Ghost was like, for me, it's. I know, you're probably not. It doesn't sound like Smashing Pumpkins' Adore, but that album where they went acoustic electronic, that
Yep.
kind of vibe, that hit me first. And much like that album, Daylight Ghost has songs that I just cannot listen to without crying. Like, it's
That's cool. That's probably my favorite Smashing
really,
Pumpkins album.
yeah. Well, yeah, you really hit the nail on the head with that vibe. It's very
Cool.
I remember the first time. I think it was the first time I saw you live. It was somewhere, and you were going on about hi, we're Daylight Ghosts and we are sad boys or something like that.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
I'm pretty sure I saw Novus Wild live at the New Globe Theatre, so around
Yeah, we
2016,
played there a fair bit.
2017, something
Yep,
like
that would have
that.
been about the right timeline for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I came across some live footage of that just a couple of nights ago, actually. Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, it was a fun time. So, do you when we can talk about sort of different thinking about lyrics and different attractions to music and stuff, but what about vocal approach? Because this is something I've thought about a lot since my diagnosis. Is I really do feel like the way that I sing is a direct result of the way that I think about melody and stuff, and that it is quite different. Do you feel that way, or has that just kind of been something that's just felt natural and intrinsic?
So vocally, I kind of, it's either one of two approaches for me. Either the vocal melody is the first thing I kind of come up with along with like a lyric at the same time. And then I tend to like build a song around that, like the other musical elements around that. I'm not sure where the melody really comes from at all, or why or what, but it's usually either that, or if I'm working on a piece of music that's already kind of written or mostly written, I like just trying to find the spaces inside the kind of music, like those little spots where you can potentially put something interesting. And I think that just goes for like instrumentation as well. Like if I'm kind of writing a guitar part, it's kind of similar. I like to, try and find some interesting rhythm that's kind of off kilter, or just some kind of little gap where I can throw a part that might be interesting.
So not typical.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't talk to a lot of other people who write songs apart from yourself. So, yeah.
You are unique. You are unique. There are.
Okay.
I don't know of another vocalist like you, and also that. But you've also got that level of power to your vocals. But yeah, you can pretty clearly see that you're just coming at it from a very different angle to other people. But
Cool.
sometimes people just do that, and sometimes they might attribute it to being neurodivergent or not. It's
Yeah.
an eclectic little mix out there. But I know for myself, I just like to come up with grunts and sounds and melodies, like when I'm like in the jam room.
Yeah.
And then I like the word puzzle after that, the English puzzle of like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I've got this melody now. How can I fit words into that? And where do I place the rhymes? And and what could that do for me lyrically? Like, how could the structure of where the words fall inspire me lyrically and how I do verses and choruses and how many words I can fit in and syllables. I'm just like, yeah, other people really don't think like this, do they?
Yeah, it is. It is kind of like a puzzle in a way. Like
Yeah.
you're kind of like trying to connect things that maybe shouldn't be connected in certain ways, and you're trying to find like some kind of place to sync them up together, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like I don't know. I think like I think all human brains are kind of hardwired to make like connections out of things in some way, but maybe the way we kind of do it, maybe like a little bit more hyper focused, or maybe a little bit more sort of off the beaten track, maybe.
Yeah. I'm reminded of you know that Something for Kate song, Say Something?
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's ever seen the film clip for that, but it's basically a film clip of real high definition close ups of they're in the studio, but it's of like the very corner metal plate on the amp, or like a little the little whirly horn thing inside the Hammond organ.
Yeah.
And it's like just full on high def close ups of things that you would never expect in the studio. There's very little footage of the band actually playing. I think the best you get is like Paul Dempsey singing way out of focus in the background while they're focusing on the mic stand.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel like my brain approaches music.
Yeah, the smaller details before the big picture. You see the minute details first, and then zoom out to the...
Yeah, or just the things that other people would go, wow, I would never thought to actually focus on that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely yes. That's almost can be problematic for me at times, where I kind of have to make myself just take a step back and
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I asked Elle this question as well, but have you found that since the diagnosis, have you gone back over any of your old lyrics and gone, okay, I can see I was actually writing a song about ADHD when I didn't know it?
Oh, I haven't actually. But I probably will now. That's a good idea. There's always been like some kind of element of because I tend to write pretty from my own kind of emotional experience and my own kind of truth, and then I like to kind of like code it up and cloak it a little bit, just to not really like write as directly about myself as possible, but still kind of hopefully to have some kind of truth or truthful emotion behind there. There's probably are songs. A lot of my characters in my songs tend to be like these sort of outcasts or outsiders, or people who are kind of living on the outskirts of society in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's probably is something to that.
So you do the character thing too?
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it wasn't so much like I was writing about being autistic. It's like I'd look back at old lyrics and go, oh, I was writing about feeling that way, but I remember why I felt that way, and that was very autistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of my stuff is kind of, it's like I'm feeling a certain way. I just kind of put pen to paper, and then from there it kind of turns into something else. But I try and keep that initial kind of emotion there if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, perils of running a live stream while drinking beer. I need to leave you for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay. No worries at all. Yeah, this is why I'm saving my beer for after the live stream, and also because that's what I did last week as well. I had a beer after we finished our first successful podcast, and it was the best tasting beer I've ever had.
Yeah, the celebratory beer is great, isn't it? It's really good.
Yeah, the celebratory beer is also great. So
and you found something that works for you by saving it to the end of the podcast, so you keep with that good thing.
Yeah, definitely. So I was like, yep, we did that, and it went well.
I watched it. It was really good, actually.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad you liked it. So, in terms of what you've got going on musically now, is it just The Mess we're in?
It's The Mess we're in and Daylight Ghosts currently. So
And Daylight Ghosts.
Daylight Ghosts has been a little bit quiet for the past year, but we've been quietly working on our second album at the same time. So we haven't played any shows for about 18 months, I think. But we have just finished the recording, and I think the mixing of our second album is pretty much done. So cool. I think that will come out, at least the single will come out before the end of this year, and then maybe the whole lot before the end of the year or early next year. But I think we're going to start playing shows with that pretty soon as well. But apart from that, it's
Right.
been pretty much a lot of the mess we're in, and that's just kind
Yeah.
of yeah. Once we got a stable lineup together and started playing shows, it just kind of took off. We're still trying to catch up to it, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I am officially the first person to pee on the podcast. um,
I figure I may need to do that at some stage, but if
Yeah.
I do, I'll make sure I mute my microphone so they can't hear the flush.
we'll just write it off as we were trying to be real and authentic. Or something.
Yeah, real and authentic, but with a flush sound effect.
Wait, my mic was off, wasn't it?
Your mic was off.
Good.
I'm just talking about how I plan to humiliate myself.
Okay. But
Your mic was off. You're fine.
Adam, there's a reason you guys took off live, because I gotta say, man, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. You guys live, it's intense, and it's the dynamics of the band, the way it goes back and forth between different members, and you doing the thing that you do sometimes where you make everyone's jaws drop with the note that you hit, but then going between that and just some of the amazing riffs that come out of the guitar and me discovering that you were the lead guitarist in the band. I did not know that. I just assumed that was Jack. I was just like, hey,
we sort of alternate a
can you
bit
leave a
now
little talent
in the
for
newer
us?
stuff we're writing, but
Yeah.
we sort of alternate the lead now in the newer stuff that we're writing. But yeah, I was doing a lot of the lead to kind of begin with there. Yeah, it's yeah, it's a nice dynamic. They're just good musicians, good dudes. We're nearly, I think next month we'll be 3 years into it, and yeah, I don't think we've had a fight or a disagreement about anything major at all,
So good.
which is
wow.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I try not to take it for granted and try and I think I'm the grumpiest one in the band.
I'm like, never
So
had
I
a
just
fight
try and
about
tread very
anything.
lightly and try not to be too grumpy and upset anyone.
Yeah, that kind of harmonious relationship sounds unusual for bands from
Yeah,
from
yeah.
what I know.
Usually
it's funny.
you kind of get like maybe one or two people who get on, but you rarely get sort of four or five after X amount of time. The first kind of years, like the honeymoon period, and then by
Yeah.
around the 18-month, 24-month mark, it tends to start falling apart a little bit, and people tend to start disliking each other. But you can usually get one or two kind of good friendships out of it. But yeah,
Well,
it's hard to maintain with more than sort of three or four people, I think.
well, I feel like you might have hit on something earlier. So, look, I don't want to tie everything about music back to autism, but we are
That's the point of the podcast. So.
we are neurodivergent musicians. I know that when I was young, had to rule my bands with an iron fist because I had a vision of
Yeah.
what I wanted the song to be, and I found it hard to let go of that, and that did cause a lot of friction, because I was a dick,
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
And Danny just seems to have gone the opposite way. Well, I guess first you had Captain Cake, which was all you with a laptop, but what I found with when I hit Ghost Audio, which was my second band, that was my first time where I just let go. I decided to let go. I went, okay, Tim and Porter wanted to collaborate. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get my head out my own ass and enjoy this collaboration thing. And then it started to get really good. And then that band was together for 8 years, and we had 0 arguments. So I don't know. Maybe it is that sort of thing. Maybe that's where you start sometimes if you're potentially on the spectrum or whatever. You just kind of have to learn to let go a little bit and trust in finding good people, obviously first, but then trust in them a little bit more and let go. Do you think?
Yeah,
I think yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree. It's sorry, Photon had quite similar 20 something experiences in bands, I think, because I was quite similar. I was a bit of a dick too, and I was like, I've got the vision. I know what I want. I know how I want the songs to sound. Blah blah blah. And yeah, it was a bit. I think in hindsight, it was a bit too much. And lately, I've just been enjoying the collaborative side of it a lot more. And I kind of, in hindsight, I'm like, I should have done that a lot more back in the day. But it is what it is.
So you're going to say, Danny?
So with my solo stuff, it was like you said, it was all laptop beats. With the band Canny and Hall, I don't actually write the music for that one. I just handle the lyrics, so I kind of stay in my lane there and leave the music up to the rest of the band. Although I was amused recently when we played a gig and the sound guy asked, what kind of vocals do you have? And I said, I didn't know how to answer that. I was like, what kind of vocals? And one of my band members just goes, Anthony Kiedis.
Oh no!
So
I would say more along the lines of Pinky Beecroft.
oh
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
yeah,
That's-
yeah,
Yes.
punk,
Yeah.
punk. This is why I don't know if you'd fully understand, Danny, how punk your vocals are. They're great.
Oh, thanks. Well, I had somebody compare my vocals to Bloodhound Gang once. They were like, "Oh,
That
it's
works.
like Bloodhound Gang, the talky shit."
With a very strong Australian accent. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, but I'm not as horny as Bloodhound Gang, though. I mean, I'm not sure
At least
anyone
not
could
in my
be.
lyrics.
I'm not sure it's possible.
Yeah. So I guess this is like a question that I know we would all hate to be asked as an artist in general, but now post diagnosis, with all the hindsight and after all this conversation we've had about music, do you see anything about the way your brain works that makes you stand out, that makes you different as a musician, that you see as like a benefit?
Yeah, like I think
Even
I
if you can't
can't
put your finger on it.
I can't pinpoint it, but I feel like I do see things and see the world in a fairly unique way. I don't know what that is or how to really explain it. But yeah, I do think there's something definitely there, and I think it's something I try to, use that filter in whatever I make as best as I can. So yeah, I think there is something definitely there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's there with Danny.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
ask, like, how do you guys, what do you guys think? Are you pretty similar, or
I think Danny's one of the most unique musicians I've ever met.
Danny's got a very unique
and-
vision, and just like, yeah, there's no one
And
quite
I mean,
like.
I mean that entirely positively. It's
Yeah, so do
Oh,
I.
thanks.
So do I.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I have very little musical training or instrumental ability.
maybe that's it.
I think that might be part of it. I kind of it's funny growing up. I always loved books and music, and there was a time initially as a teenager when I wanted to pursue music as my main creative vocation, but I was more of a natural with the writing. And yeah, like I've done a lot of writing based stuff, but I kind of just fell back into doing music just because people liked my lyrics. So yeah, interesting.
I've been meaning to ask actually, in front of an audience,
Yeah.
lyrically, is there an equation for you between like this much humor and this much whatever, or does it just come out like that and you realize, oh, people laughed at that, or but how does that work exactly? Because the balance you get right between humor and really like intelligent humor and sometimes kind of profound statements about life and stuff. I'm like, is that like just natural genius, or is that like an equation that you apply to things?
Oh, thank you. No, I don't overthink it. It's just what feels natural to me at the time. Like it's
right.
just where inspiration strikes. I mean, I'm not even sure that I sit down and go, okay, I'm going to write a funny song. I think I just want to put jokes in things.
You bastard.
Sometimes
I have to think so hard about things.
I was going to say sometimes things just pop into your brain, don't they? Like, and it not necessarily even like in the joke world, but just like sometimes just a cool lyric idea or just something pops in there, and you're like, I've got to do something with that. And is that kind of the same with sort of like a like a good joke lyric or a good punchline as well? As it you kind of you catch that somehow, and then you've got to kind of build something around it to kind of flesh it out.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely like that. I'll think of something funny and something funny to me anyway, and I want to build a song around it. With the writing stuff that I've done with the short
The writing
stories
dream.
and Yeah, the writing dream, the short stories and novels that I've attempted, it's always a much longer process because I do several drafts, and I have people read over my drafts and give me feedback in it. But it's the same thing. I just want to put jokes in things.
Yeah. But okay, I'll keep this short because we spoke about this last episode. But
Yep.
like I said, when you started doing the Danny WX stuff, which is a bit more serious, there's some comedy there. I was like, oh,
Yep.
and you told me that you were going to play Captain Cake as well as Kenny and Hall and Danny WX in the live set. I was like, how the hell is that going to work? And I still can't put it together in my head how it works so well, but it just does.
Oh, thanks.
But I think, like you said last time, it's probably just the authenticity and I think the uniqueness of you as a musician. Doesn't matter which project you're doing, it's still Danny.
Yeah, it reminds me of theatre a little bit too. Like it's just like it touches across a whole bunch of different, elements and even genres, but it's just all part of this consistent sort of vision. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm done blowing smoke up your ass.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is one I know that you have dealt with before, and I used to as well a lot. And somehow moved past it, but performance anxiety. How did you learn to get past that? I mean, obviously you still have it, like I do too, but I know how to get on stage and not look like that I do. And you certainly seem quite confident on stage these days. So, what was that process like for you? Because I know, like, as a neurodivergent person, especially if you do end up being on the ASD spectrum, it's a lot more intensive an experience getting on a stage in front of a bunch of strangers than it might be for the average person. What was your journey like from terrified to where you're at now?
I still suffer from like quite bad stage fright. It's a fucking nightmare. It's the best way I can describe it. It's there's like a little war that goes on up here for like sort of I'll be fine. I'll be completely fine for like the whole day thinking about it. It's fine, no problems. I'm like, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. This is going to be fun. And then like without fail, like around 5 minutes before showtime, it just kicks in and it's just like chaos, and I just push through it pretty much is the best way to describe it. Like usually it's
help?
gone. Sorry?
Does the nervous energy contribute, do you think?
Yeah, like I try and like kind of center myself and get into my body and kind of it's hard to describe, but it's kind of like almost like a little bit like a meditation where you kind of just focus on breathing, and usually by the second song, sometimes even the first song, depending on the show, it's pretty much gone, and you're just excited to be there and happy to be there. And by the end, you don't want it to end at all. And I think the other way I kind of overcame it was I just started reminding myself that like this is a cool thing I'm doing. Like probably a lot of people who are watching me would want to be doing this, and it's not every day you get to stand up in front of other people and play original songs that you've helped create. And yeah, just you just gotta. I know sometimes I just have to check my privilege, I guess, and like realize it's like a cool thing I'm doing. So don't be so stressed about it. Just have fun. That helps sometimes too.
Yeah, do you kind of channel the adrenaline or channel the nerves into a more focused performance or into the energy of the show?
I find an in the moment approach for me personally is better. So I've told the story before, but when I started just singing for Gutterfire and I had no guitar to hide behind, I was like, well, how do I do this? I was like, exposure therapy. So first song, jump in the crowd. Like, do the most uncomfortable thing I can possibly think of. I'll either have a panic attack or I'll ride the wave. And now that's every show, and I quite enjoy it now. It's like this sort of wrestle with my anxiety that I do and with the crowd. And, well, now I haven't played on stage for 2 years. But, yeah, for me, that was the best way to go about it. But I know very few people would be able to do it that way. I think it's a little reckless, possibly. With my own emotional
to be like more like especially the first couple of songs if I'm really nervous, I tend to move around a lot more, and like there's more like kind of movement and dancing. I think it's a way of like kind of just getting my body moving to kind of try and use that adrenaline for something as well. Again, I don't know if that helps or not, but it's just well,
no, I mean, I think we Elle was saying last episode from Burnt Trash, I think you could basically just look around at the whole musical community and pin pin the tail on the donkey, like pin the diagnosis to the musician,
Yeah, sometimes it's very obvious.
So I think it's so rare that anyone's talking about this from this point of view of like, oh yeah, we do have different brains. How do we cope with this? It's good to be having these sorts of conversations, I think.
Yeah.
But it sounds like we all three deal with it a bit differently.
Yeah. I mean, I've become more relaxed on stage just through experience. I mean, the first couple of gigs I did solo were really nerve-wracking. But I mean, I think like I had a particularly memorable gig once where there was an audience member who wanted to fight me. So he was this old punk
Sorry
guy.
about that, Danny.
That's all right. I didn't like that. I've forgiven you. But he was an old punk guy, and he didn't like that I was playing backing tracks. His jimmies were rustled, and he was like, "I'll bash you in the car park," and I was like, "Joke's on you! I took the bus here. I won't even be there." So I think after that gig, every gig I've had since then has been a lot more relaxed.
Any punk who has a problem with backing tracks, if that's the thing they're focused on, they don't understand punk.
Yeah, and I love punk.
It's a fucking attitude. Yeah, dude. I mean, Sleaford Mods, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure we've all had. That is one of the most punk bands I've ever heard. And the guy who isn't the singer in that band just stands there next to him with a pint and hits play on the laptop.
Yeah,
that's one of the most punk things I have ever seen in my life.
I love Sleaford Mods.
Yeah, fuck that all.
Yeah, and I listen to a lot of punk. So, but yeah, but I mean, after that gig, I mean, every gig I've had since then has been a bit more relaxed by comparison.
Yeah, that's good. I've only had one guy ever try to fight me, and we were playing in Toowoomba. So of course, but sorry, Toowoomans, I love you all. Been there, I've played there many, many times. But no, it was it was the only time in my life I've ever literally had the actual play some Barnsey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it was I don't even know what he was doing in that venue. It wasn't for him, but he was just drunk as a skunk.
Yeah.
And and when I was like, "Hey man, this is not a cover gig," he just saw his face turn. And luckily, they had a security guard right next to me because he started coming towards the stage, and they just escorted him. And I don't know.
Did he know where he was?
That's definitely a rites of passage, isn't it? Being an originals band and have some drunk tosser yell out, "Play some Barnsey."
Or Farnsey.
Or
Freebird.
Farnsey, LRB, Fleetwood Mac. Yep. Yeah, it's almost like, are you even an originals band in Brisbane if you haven't had that happen to you yet?
If someone hasn't asked you to play a song that wasn't yours.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I gotta ask because we're coming towards the end here, and yeah, you may not know. Again, you're relatively early into the journey, but are there any artists either that are neurodivergent or think probably are that you really admire for? I don't know if you've even had the bandwidth yet to look at this, but kind of go, oh, that guy, he just rocked it. Or just artists who are like uniquely themselves and gave no shits. That inspired you.
Speaking of blowing smoke, like you two guys, obviously, big inspirations. I love,
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys just both take ownership of it, and you guys act like it's not anything to be ashamed of, and yeah, it's cool. It's something to definitely look up to. I don't know, in the sort of, I guess in the realm of the more famous artists, I'm not really sure who, you have your suspicions about some people, but it's hard to say for sure, isn't it? Even
if you're not sure though.
Like Ozzy Osbourne surely had to be right, like
something there. Yeah.
But even like Youngblood, he's very open about his neurodivergence. That's cool. Like,
oh, is he?
To me, it's nice seeing it not be this taboo thing anymore. It's nice.
I didn't know that.
He's been. I think he was diagnosed with ADHD since like a little kid. So and he's quite open about it. It's nice to see like artists who just kind of. It's just like another element to who they are. It's not like this thing that anyone's ashamed of, or So
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know if you might have seen in the last few years that the Talking Heads are all friends again now
oh,
with
David
Oh,
Byrne, yep, definitely that guy.
David Byrne, and they're never going to play again. But because he was an absolute nightmare to work with, kind of like we were talking about, maybe we were when we were
Yeah.
younger. But it all happened after he got diagnosed, and he was like, and he did like a apology round to them all, going, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know that I was like this," and blah blah.
I read his book. Have you read his book at all?
No.
It's called. I think it was How to Make Music. I'm pretty sure it was called, but it's so neurodivergent. Like it's even got
yeah.
photographs. So like it's there's a writing section, and then every sort of second or third page there's a photograph of like a live venue, like this beautiful live venue that he's kind of describing, and it's such a good book. But I didn't realize he was diagnosed, but I had my suspicions after reading that book.
He was diagnosed late, but yeah. I don't know. I think we all maybe could have figured it out from the big suit, but
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think
and the
he.
dance with the lamp, in the live performance of theirs. Sorry, Danny?
I think he suspected it for quite some time before he was diagnosed. But yeah, David Byrne is one of the people I definitely look up to in terms of finding a kind of neurodivergent charisma, I guess.
God, it's just
A confidence.
yeah, and honestly, you look at people like David Byrne, potentially Ozzy Osbourne. I've got to think Mike Patton.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally.
And and now younger musicians have the freedom to be open about it, or get diagnosed, because it wasn't like these older musicians weren't necessarily open about how different they were. They were pretty okay with it, like Bjork, for instance. But it wasn't getting diagnosed back then, so it's nice to see them be able to come through knowing from the beginning or from an earlier age. But I just look at all these amazing musicians, and I'm like, I wouldn't want your brain any other way. Because how would I get medulla from Bjork, without autism?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm really like, I really think it brings positive things, and obviously, having diagnosis, having a different brain has many challenges, and I'm not trying to brush over the challenges, but musically, artistically, I feel like we have a lot to thank autism and ADHD for, and various other things. That's
yeah.
my little rant over. Sorry.
Agreed. I'm stunned
good.
into silence.
Okay, well, Adam, we have reached an hour.
Cool. That went quickly.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, man.
No worries. Thanks
Thank you,
for
Adam.
having me.
Yeah, we really were very intent on getting yourself and Elle on for the first couple of episodes. Start with music, where we're most comfortable. We're about to start jumping into other professions for a bit, but I'm sure we will come back to music. But man, honestly, like, you as an artist and being able to pick your brain like this, I mean, we've had many conversations, a lot drunk.
Yeah.
But this was cool to have it in this context. I feel like I've gotten to know you a little better.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Hopefully I've really enjoyed it. Hopefully it's helpful to people out there, and
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. We're not looking to like have life-changing conversations. We're just looking to have conversations, like normal conversations about different brains between people with different brains. And I'm going to harp on about that until the day the podcast gets cancelled or whatever.
I think normalizing it is cool.
Well, I mean, because like I die or something. I don't mean, yeah. Hopefully, we never do anything worthy of being cancelled. But yeah.
The scenarios are just getting worse.
Maybe 2 beers instead of 3 next time. Okay. Thank you, Adam, so much. We don't have a song to end on this time. I hope you all did listen. If you're watching this after the fact, then you can go find Adam on. Do you want to fill people in, Adam?
You can find The Mess We're In at The Mess We're In Band, but it would probably look more like The Mess Were In Band, because you can't really put apostrophes in the ats. You can find Daylight Ghosts at Daylight Ghosts Music. You can find me in both of those places. Apart from that, I'm playing live in every second dive bar in the valley these days. Depending when this is live. The Mess We're In are playing next Friday, April 24th at Greaser. And then we're on again back at Greaser Saturday, May 16th, and that's actually a special one because Daylight Ghosts will be playing at that one too. It'll be the first Daylight Ghost show in about 18 months, and we're going to be playing a bunch of stuff from our second album. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then after that, there's just going to be lots of shows, etc. But if people jump on those two ats, they'll find all the music stuff.
I can't wait to play some shows together with the new band. The three of us need to put on a lineup.
Ah, that's an idea. Yes. Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
We can do like sponsored by the Neurodivergent Normal or something.
Yep. Awesome.
All right. Thanks, Adam. Really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody for finding us. Next fortnight, we're going to move. We're not going to have multiple guests in the same profession for a little while, just because we just wanted to go with the most interesting guests. We have my tattooist. Every bit of ink that you see on my body was done by Oriel. And Oriel is just the most amazing person. Oriel's been doing my tattoos since I was about 25. I'm 45. And I won't let anyone else touch my body. Very unique artist. And more recently became a very unique vocalist in a band called Anna and the Morphics. And I'm going to be very happy to have that conversation and dive a little bit more into Oriel's life. But we will give you more on that on socials. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. We're going to add more. We're just winging this, guys. I've done a podcast before, but other people did all the background technical stuff, so we're working it out. But I think we're doing all right. I think we're having good conversations. I think we're having important conversations. And Danny, did you have anything to say before we head out?
Oh, no, nothing from my end, but that all sounds great. I'm looking forward to our episode with Oriel. That's going to be a good one.
It's going to be awesome. Oh, and by the way, that will be our first in-person one, so all three of us will be in the same room.
Excellent.
So, yeah, see you then.
Cool. See you then. Thanks, guys.